Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our monthly webinar for LT Senior Services. We're so happy that you all are here. We're just going to wait a couple minutes for people to log on. We know it takes a little bit to log on. We're so happy that you are here on this fall day where we got an extra hour of sleep. I know I love that. We're just happy that everybody is here. So my name is Cindy Cummings. I am one of the founders of LT Senior Services, and LT Senior Services is a nonprofit, and our goal is to help seniors and their families in the Lake Travis School District area. And we help people via webinars. We also hold other events, and we just did our Aging Well Expo, which was super fun. We're so happy that people attended. It was so great to see people in person. But this is our webinar series, and we used to do this in the library, and unfortunately a lot of our facilities are still closed and we're not able to be in person, but we hope to be in person again soon. So without further ado, I'd like to invite in one of our library supporters, and that is Karen. Karen, are you here? And come on in and tell us a little bit about you and the library and what's going on at the library right now. Hey, Karen, how are you?
Hi, how are you guys?
Awesome. It's so great to see you. What's going on with the library? What's new there?
Oh, well, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate your support and partnership. The library is definitely open for browsing. We extended our hours earlier in the month, so we're open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 10 to 7, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 10 to 4. So we're hoping the later hours in the evening allow some people to come in and look for items if you'd like. We're slowly working on bringing programs back and maybe having people in the library. It's just a slow process right now. So right now we're focusing on library programs, but we know definitely that other people want to be in the library. So we're doing sort of both. Like some programs are in the library, some are online. Right now we still have online programs. There's a speakers forum on Thursday. Today is the 8th. Yeah. If you are able to join this, you can also join Thursday evening. One of our volunteers, Jeannie Booterer, she's been a volunteer at the Blanton Museum of Art for a long time. So she's going to sample famous works of art online. So that sounds like fun. Wow. And then there's an outdoor story time on Friday outside of the library with Morgan, our director. So just keep an eye on the calendar. Let us know if you have any questions. We're sort of doing a little bit of both right now. So, but thank you so much for supporting us and having Absolutely. Us at the webinar.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you in person someday soon. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting a little closer. It was great to see you, Karen, and thank you again for everything that the library does for the Lake Travis area. We do appreciate it. It looks like we have somebody else who would like to come in and say hello, and that is Jeremy Self. Jeremy, you want to come say hey? And we're just waiting for Jeremy to come on with video and sound. Takes a little bit of time to get connected. We can sure relate to that. Hey, Jeremy, how are you?
Hi there. Good, good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about what you do for Lake Travis seniors.
Okay, yeah. So a number of my clients, I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones Investments here in Lakeway. And I like to say my office is just underneath the golf ball water tower. So that is a point where most folks know where we are, right in the Lakeway Commons area. I have a number of clients in the Lake Travis area that are seniors, and we really help them plan for living in retirement as an important goal and help them fundamentally not run out of money in retirement. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Well, so glad. I'm so happy to see you. And Thank you for your support of LT Seniors, all of our goals that we have. I know you've helped us with Shred Day and other events, and we really appreciate your support.
Thank you.
All right. See you later, Jeremy. I guess I should introduce myself. I don't know if I even said my name. My name is Cindy Cummings. And like I said, I am one of the founders of the group. And we're just so happy to be able to provide different kinds of programs. And this webinar series we've been doing now monthly since COVID started. Actually, when COVID first started, I think we were doing weekly webinars, which we didn't have anything else to do. It was great to stay connected and a great way to educate. So we appreciated that ability to do it. But now we're just continuing on with our monthly. This is our last monthly event for 2021. Our events will start back up in January. We will be sending out a survey, and in the survey, we always send out a survey just asking you how the webinar went. What we'd really like to know is what kind of topics you would like to have us speak on. And one of the other questions that we'll ask, and Natalie, if you wouldn't mind adding this to the survey, is, do you want to be in person or you want to continue with webinars? I know people are, we start and stop. It looks like things are going to be good. We can all get together, and then we're not able to get together because of something with COVID. So it's likely we're just going to continue with webinars. But if we hear that a lot of our constituents would like to meet in person, we will try to make that arrangement. One of our issues is the place that we would meet, and it's just really difficult to find a place to meet that could commit, if there was some kind of issue with COVID. So that's always a problem that everybody's having, and we're just adjusting the best way we can. We are happy that you are here, though. We are going to be participating in the Alzheimer's Texas Walk. We're super excited. This is the first time they're doing the walk in Lakeway, and LT Senior Services will be participating. We have our own team. If you would like to be on the walk, we would love to have you on our team. It's from 8:30 to 9:30. I believe it's November 20th. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And that is on a Saturday. It's just an hour. Super easy. We really want people to get out there. Alzheimer's is a huge problem in Alzheimer's Texas. By supporting them, they are a local nonprofit, and all of the money stays in Texas. And I think that's really important. That's one of the reasons why we like to support Alzheimer's Texas. In the email that you'll get, perhaps we can add a link in there that you can join our team. And we're just looking for bodies out there, so that we can support people who have Alzheimer's and the continued research that needs to be done for a cure. Cure is really important. So I think without further ado, Wesley, would you like to come on in? Wesley is our speaker for today. Hey, Wesley.
Hello.
I also love your really bright shirt. I kind of went with the, fall theme, but you're just, wow.
I know. I like Hawaii.
It's energy. I love it. Well, let me do an introduction of you, and then we'll kind of explain what we're going to do today here. So this is Wesley, and he's the owner of Fit Mindet, and his love for fitness, exercise science, and nutrition first started when he was a child. From 8 to 15, he was overweight and not living a healthy lifestyle. He also suffered from a sciatica in his back due to poor posture. He was totally clueless about how to achieve his optimal health and relieve his back pain. A physical therapist and personal trainer helped him empowered him. They gave him the knowledge to make his ideal health a reality. After his journey, he decided that the exercise science industry was his career path. Since then, he has changed lives by helping others increase their stability, supporting muscle strength, and overall health. And he's looking forward to helping you live your healthiest life possible. Well, we are so woohoo! We're happy that you're here today. We actually had you step in and speak for us at the Aging Well Expo that we had, and your reviews were phenomenal. I mean, I probably one of our most favorite speaker that we've ever had anytime.
Wow.
So we were like, we got to get this guy back. Well, we had a cancellation and for this month. And so we said, Wesley, can you come talk? And you were able to do it. And we are just thrilled. So we're so happy that you're here today. Let me just tell everybody what our format is for today. And you can go ahead and pull up your PowerPoint while I'm doing that. Okay. When you are in Zoom, if you kind of roll your mouse around and you go towards the bottom, you're going to see an area that says question and answer. And chat. So you can either ask questions in the question and answer area or in the chat area. And what will happen is I'm going to be basically a facilitator where I'll be able to answer or ask the questions to Wesley. So we are in webinar mode, which is a little different than meeting mode, which means that everybody can be shown, on the screen at any certain time. And so we're just going to have you ask those questions and question and answer, and then in the chat area. And then there's 3 different times that Wesley has directed me to ask him questions. So I'll ask during that time. Then I've got a set of additional questions that we'll ask him at the end. But I would really encourage you, if you have a question, please put it in there. When you think of the question, it's likely 10 other people have the same question. They're just not typing it in there. But we've got Wesley here. He's a great source of information. So let's use his information bank and ask as many questions as you can. So Wesley, without further ado, I'm going to let you go ahead and go on. Just know that I'm here and I'm ready to ask the questions as we move forward.
Great. Thank you, Cindy, for the great introduction. And thank you so much, Natalie, too, and LT Services for making all of this happen. It makes me very happy to be able to share some of this information with you on aging well, because it's just so important, because you want to be able to live the best quality of life for the rest of your life. So I just want to welcome you guys to the webinar today. Thank you so much for participating in this. They say that 90% of success happens from just showing up. And that's what you guys did today, is you're here to absorb information. And I just believe that that's just so great. So take out your notepad. I'd like you to write down my phone number, just in case you have any questions that you want to ask that don't get covered through the webinar. You can text me or you can call me. So my number is 512-969-8595. And I'll repeat, 512-969-8595. Okay, so let's get started. So right here, this is an example of someone right here who's really aging, who really aged well. So this is Madam Jean Calmet. She was born in 1875, and she passed away in 1997. And the special thing about Madam Jean Calmet is she lived to be 122, and all the way to the day that she passed away, she was living a very high quality of life. Now, Madam Jean Calmet, what she did every time when she woke up in the mornings is she would pray. She was a very religious woman, and she would write down some of her objectives that she wanted to achieve during the day, along with some things that she was thankful for. And she would do this every morning right after she woke up. After that, she would participate in some exercise. She would do exercises for about 20 to 30 minutes every single morning. She would walk. She had these little 3-pound hand weights that she would use. So she was a very, very active woman. Now, I'll say she actually dedicates her living so long, if you can believe it, to drinking a glass of red wine every night, and also eating an excess of dark chocolate. And I mean that, and the thing is, you know, she would, when she was eating, she would eat in moderation. And she would pick whole natural foods. With each meal, she would make sure that she was getting in a good source of protein, carbohydrates, and healthy fats. And she didn't eat perfectly every single day. One day out of the week, she would indulge in some fried chicken. And the key here is she ate really well, but she had, you know, some of the more unhealthy foods in moderation, and she really applied portion control. And to get back to the red wine, so red wine actually has a anti-aging effect to it. It has a chemical called Veratrol in it, which is shown to be anti-aging. The only thing about Veratrol is we don't know yet whether it goes to the brain. But there's something out there. There's something with red wine and dark chocolate, because Madam Jean Calmet drank a glass of red wine and had dark chocolate every single day. I know dark chocolate has polyphenols in it, which makes your thinking in your brain sharper. It increases the number of neurons firing in your brain. So maybe something to think about. But the key to remember about Madam Jean Calmet is she ate well whole foods, and she ate some of the not so good foods in moderation. She would eat them once a week, and on top of that, she would even indulge in a cigar once a week. So it just proves to you that we go out to eat with friends. We go out on vacation and eat some things, which is perfectly fine, but just being able to trust ourselves to eat some of the more unhealthy food in moderation, and some of the good, healthy, whole food in excess during the week. At 94 years old, Madam Jean Calmet was actually she was an astute businesswoman. So she sold her apartment to a French man who agreed to pay her rent and let her live there for the rest of her life. He passed away 10 years later. At 104, she was the first actress to star in multiple movies at age 104. So you can just see that you're not limited by age. Your opportunities are endless, but the thing that you just have to make sure that you do is just take care of yourself and feed your body with good things and exercise and keep your mind healthy, keep your thoughts healthy, and keep negativity away. So some of the things that we're going to go over today is we're going to talk about positive mindset. So studies have been run by Harvard Institute that a positive mindset increases the amount of neurons firing in the brain, which makes us think a lot better. And when compared to a negative mindset, we have 10% less activity in our hippocampus. So our neurons are not firing as much. We're not thinking as good when we get negative, because what happens is when we get negative or we worry or we get stressed, a chemical increases called cortisol. And when cortisol increases, it's a stress hormone, okay? And you'll see if someone's injected with cortisol, they'll have temporary memory loss. So this is what happens when we get negative, when we worry, when we get stressed out. So we're going to talk about managing that. We're also going to talk about staying involved and social for increased health. So there was a study done, very interesting. It actually started in 1934. They took 743 people and they did this study. Oh, they're actually still doing the study. They did this study now over the course of, I don't know, it's probably been about 80 years now they've been doing this study. And what they found is happiness did not really relate to someone's income or someone's poor upbringing or rich upbringing, but happiness really got down to someone's social connection. So they had a survey for they kept track of all of these people over the years, and they had a survey 50 years down the line um, that gauged everyone's happiness level. And they found that the people who were the most happy had strong social connections and were very active. So yeah, that's an interesting study. It's still going on today. So another important thing is keeping yourself mentally sharp. We're going to talk about some secrets and some tips for you to remember things better, because we all get in those times, right, where we don't remember someone's name, or we forget where we parked our car, right? I'm going to show you an easy method to fix that, to eliminate that. Another thing we're going to talk about is exercise. We're going to talk about how to keep a great posture, the benefits of having a great posture, and some easy exercises that you can do to maintain your posture and to maintain a high activity level. Another thing we're going to talk about is nutrition. So we're going to talk about the balance between protein, carbohydrates, and healthy fats, getting your vegetables, getting your fruits in, and also most importantly, the mindset behind that, how to instill these habits of eating well, because we all kind of know how to eat, but the problem comes down to really sticking to it and our mindset. So we're going to go to the next slide. So this is another example of someone who's aged well. Millard Kaufman, very interesting guy. He developed a cartoon character, Mr. Magoo. That's really what he's known for. And he published a novel, Misadventure, at the age 90. And this novel sold over 2 million copies. He started writing it when he was age 87. So it just kind of makes you think about, I mean, your potential is endless. If you want to do something like this and write a novel or write a book or paint, some of the greatest painters started at age, 75 to age 90. It's endless on what you really can do. For Millard Kaufman, one of the things that he says, basically why he had such successful aging, is because of his good looks. Good looks and exercise and eating whole natural food. But I know everyone watching, that's what you guys all really want, is to age well. It's what I want. I'm thinking about this right now in my life, for when I get into my 50s, 60s, 70s, being able to stay active and age well all the way to the end. And that's what we're going to solidify today. Okay, so this is Faja Singh. Okay, so he's from India, and guess how many miles he ran? He ran a whole marathon at age 100. Okay, if you can believe that, 26 miles. I'm telling you right now, I couldn't run 26 miles right now. I mean, this is astounding how he's kept himself so healthy. Now he's 109, still running. I mean, it's tremendous, and it's just solidifies the fact that age is just a number. You have no limits. You know, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can really do anything. So he says, my secret to a long and healthy life has been taking care of my mind, body, and soul. Every day I challenge myself to think, exercise, eat healthy, and pray. So that's what he dedicates his successful aging to. So he actually has a vegetarian way of eating. He grew up like that from India, so he eats a little bit differently. A lot of vegetables, a lot of edamames, a lot of beans. So that's kind of what his nutrition was like. He's a very active guy, ran a lot. Okay, so this is Joanne McDonald. So this is a great story. She started taking a lot of medications for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, acid reflux, and her health was really going down the drain. She thought that, you know, her life was at a stopping point and she was just going to get sick and die. But she turned her life around. Her doctor told her that, you know, the future wasn't going to be bright if she didn't start, you know, taking care of herself and exercising. So that's what she did. She took care of herself, started exercising. She lost, I believe, 60 pounds. There's her before and after picture. And she says now she's got men beating down her doors. She's a single woman too. McDonald says, you know, her goals come down to pure dedication and hard work. And she kind of did the same thing as Madam Jean Calmet is today she just journals every single day. What her objectives are for the day, what challenges she wants to overcome, what is her long-term goals. That's something that she writes down every single day. Another thing is she hired someone, a personal trainer to guide her through too. So that kind of helped solidify that accountability starting out. This picture right here is actually of one of my patients, Mr. Dick Rathgaber. So he's another person who really just turned his health around. He still works. He does real estate deals. If you Google Dick Rathgaber, you'll see that he's a developer of Avery Ranch and Lost Creek. So he's still really active. Actually, he's not 88 now. He's 89 years old. When I first started working with him, he had extreme hamstring tendinopathy. His posture was bad. He was using a walker and he felt like his physical health was really going downhill. But we turned all that around. We worked on strengthening some of his supporting muscles and working on his posture. And this is what he's like today. Actually, this video was shot about a year ago. He's even in better condition today.
Wesley really works me out. And he does it in the comfort of your own home. My hamstrings are making great progress. For a long while, I was walking with a cane, and I put the cane away, and I'm walking upright. He charges a very fair price, and like I said, he comes to your home. And I will not hesitate to recommend him to anybody.
So you see that how he's really turned his health around, and it was really just from healthy habits, from exercising on a regular basis. He never exercised until I started working with him, and he has gained tremendous strength with his stability, getting up out of a chair, and he's just done great, really great. Okay, so now we're going to go over a remembering tip. Okay, so I told you I'm going to give you a little tip to allow you to remember some things better. So the remembering tip is look, snap, connect. So a lot of times when when we first meet someone and they tell us our name, or their name, we kind of forget it because we're distracted or we're thinking about something else. So look just solidifies the fact of just focusing on looking at the person. So snap is taking a mental snapshot of the person. So I kind of like to blink really quick and just get a mental snapshot. And then connect is when you connect their name to something that's familiar to you. And I'm going to give you some examples here. So Harry, this guy's named Harry, and he has a lot of hair on his head. So it's easy to remember that his name is Harry. Right here is Lisa. If you look at her face, she has kind of a Mona Lisa sort of smile. So that's a good way to remember it. Sue Bangle. Okay, so Sue Bangle is a lawyer and she has bangs. So think about how you can remember that. So Bangle, you can look at the person's bangs, you can connect it that way. And then she's a lawyer, so she sues. So that's another good way to remember it. Okay. So let's talk about happiness. I know everyone watching now wants to be happy. So that I believe that's really everyone's goal. I don't think there's anyone living on this earth who doesn't want to be happy. So happiness is defined differently depending on who you ask. So it has a different meaning for every person. And happiness is a state where we experience positive emotions like contentment, like ease, like joy. And this is really what we want to experience on a daily basis. Positive emotions multiplied upon each other makes it easier for us to stay in a happiness state. And we're going to discuss really how to stay in the happiness state. So the first thing you need to think about is there's stereotypes in your subconscious that you need to destroy, okay? Because none of them are true. Over the hill, old dogs can't learn new tricks. I mean, we know that's not even true for dogs, much less for actual people, okay? It's just misinformation. It's not true. You're on a downward slope, okay? If any of you guys ever get a card for your loved one who's turning 50 or turning 60, it's very negative, you know? You can't find a positive card at Hallmark about turning 50 or 60. You know, it's sayings like 50 is the new, wait, what was I saying? I mean, it's terrible. Done at 40, old dogs can't learn new tricks. You're over the hill. I mean, it's just terrible. But all of this is misinformation, and it's not true because we have proof. A lot of other people are achieving great things and are just getting started at age 50 to age 90, or even, you know, in the hundreds at some of the time. So another thing is avoid blaming things on your age. And I know everyone listening has been kind of done this sometime in their life. I know I've kind of have done this on the opposite side of the spectrum, just saying, oh, I can't do this because I'm young. I can't do this because, you know, I'm not old enough or something like that. But there's people who experience it on the other side of the spectrum too. Oh, I can't, you know, go to this party because, I'm getting older and I'm not going to fit in. Whatever it may be, avoid blaming things on your age, because you have to ask yourself, is what you're saying to yourself in your mind really influencing you in a positive way, right? You have to ask yourself that question. Is this serving me, or is this just bringing me down? Okay. So another thing you can do is focus on what you can do rather than what you can't do. Okay. If you can't get on the floor very well and can't get up off of the floor, focus on how you can do it. There's a lot of information out there on how you can do this, and you can either hire someone such as myself to give you the proper progressions to get off the floor. But there's always solutions to the problems that you're facing. And if there's not a solution, just say that you're 85 and you can't walk, you can't snow ski downhill anymore. Well, if that's not a problem that you can solve, find something else to replace it with. Maybe it's time to take up bowling or take up golf, something that you can do. But just don't focus on the things that you can't do, because it doesn't impact you in any way. It just makes things worse. So, your emotional building blocks. Okay, so during the day, you want to start building up positive emotions, right? So you can hit this happiness high, this positive high. And if you build up negative emotions, right? If negative emotions are building up, you're going to have a bad attitude. You're not going to be able to think well, and you're not going to be happy. And your happiness endorphins, like dopamine and serotonin, will be really low. So right here, I've got an example of negative blocks and positive blocks. So negative blocks are things like, the weather is terrible. Oh my gosh, I'm so forgetful. I must be getting old. I'm so sick of these medications. All I am is a hindrance. That's an example of negative blocks. So the positive blocks, I'm so happy about this weather. We need the rain. I forgot about that. Not a big deal. Next time I'll write it down, then I'll remember. I am serving others. I made my friend feel good today. I gave her a compliment. I feel optimistic about the future. These are all phrases that are serving us, right? When challenges hit us, we need to reframe them into a learning experience and look forward to next time when we do it better. So I want to encourage you today to actually right now, just name 3 positive things. Okay, and it doesn't matter when it happened, if it was today, if it was last week, if it was 5 years ago, just think about 3 positive things right now. The next, what I want you to do is I want you to take one of those at a time, and I want you to imagine those positive things. So it could be something positive that happened to you. It could be it could be something that happened today that you're happy about. Whatever it is, just imagine it in your mind. And I'll give you about a minute to do that. Okay, great. So one of mine actually was when I was training for this fitness competition. It was a CrossFit competition, and I got second place. And it was a very competitive competition. And it was a very happy day for me because I put a lot of work into that to get second place. So that was a really happy feeling for me. So I hope you guys did that exercise and got a chance to imagine some positive things, some great things that have happened to you. Okay. So next, it's very important to raise your awareness to your thoughts during the day. So a lot of us during the day don't even realize some of the habits that we're developing. We don't realize what we're feeling. We don't realize why we're feeling it. And as a result, we get into these depressive states and don't particularly know why. We just can't really put our finger on it. So when you can raise awareness to some of these things, then you can raise things out of your subconscious, some things you don't know about, into your conscious. So you can work on changing some of those thoughts. So you want to raise awareness to negative thoughts and beliefs so you can reframe them. Okay, so an example would be like, maybe you made a mistake, and like I was saying before, you can apply that mistake to learn from it in the future, and that's a positive thing. So instead of saying I can't do that, focus on how you can do it and what else what else that you can get into to enjoy. So like I said, it's either replacing that thing or focusing on how you can do it. And you'd be surprised when you ask yourself that, your brain will generate a lot of solutions to the challenge that you're facing. So ask yourself, each time you have a thought, right? It's like a worry, or you have anxiety about something, or you're upset about something. Ask yourself, is this thought serving me, or is it tearing me down? How will this worry help me? And what you're doing is you're just asking yourself, I mean, what is this doing to me, right? I mean, if I have a nervous thought, like for example, I used to have a huge fear of speaking, like I'm doing now. But if I have that fear, how is that fear serving me? So it allows me to kind of let go of that fear and loosen up. And that's the most important thing is, I mean, you will feel worry, you will feel distress. If you have a loved one who passes away, you will feel emotions of sadness. But building an emotional resilience will help you triumph past those challenges. And that's the goal. The goal is not to destroy the emotions. The goal is to be able to feel the emotions and move past them. Okay, so this is a Harvard study. So it's basically saying that negative attitudes, anxiety, feelings of helplessness and hopelessness can create chronic stress. It upsets the hormone balance. It depletes the brain chemicals responsible for happiness. It damages the immune system. It shortens telomeres. It does some, really awful things. Stress, anxiety, worry. It can definitely kill you, to be honest. And if you do suffer from some depression and anxiety and worry, there is hope. There definitely is hope. There's been studies of people who've had chronic stress until the age 70 or the age 75, and they turned it around through thinking a lot more positively, and their health improved drastically. So it's never too late to make a change to your emotional state. And you'll find that building up the positives and being happy will serve you a lot more than the worrying and the stress will. Okay, so we've got a brain scan. So this is basically a depressive brain versus a happy brain. So you see, during depression, it turns off, our brain goes into this shutdown mode, right? And there's very few neurons firing in the brain. But when we're happy, when we're feeling good, when our hormones are flowing, when we don't have any depression, look how many neurons are firing within the brain. So negativity, worry, anxiety can lead to death of precious gray matter. A depressive brain continues to shrink. A happy brain grows. A big head is good. So if someone calls you a big head, it's actually a compliment. Having a big brain is good, and being happy really impacts your brain and makes it bigger and makes it think more efficiently. Okay, so can you guys remember the names of some of these people? Okay, so remember her smile, right? What does her smile look like? Yep, it looks like the Mona Lisa. Her name is Lisa. Okay, and we've got the next one. Okay, look at his head. You know, what is his head like? It's hairy. So his name is Harry. Okay. All right. So you look at the bangs, and she's a lawyer, remember? So what's her name? Sue Bangle. All right. If you guys got all of those, great. If you got one or two, that's also tremendous too. And if you didn't get any of them, it's perfectly okay. This takes some time to kind of practice and instill this process. Okay. All right, so we're to the part of how to stay positive. So we talked about warding off negative thoughts and the importance of that. So now we're going to talk about how to stay positive through imagery, through journaling, through meditation. Okay, so we're first going to talk about old versus elder. Okay, so an old person is an example of someone who has basically given up. They hold on to things, bringing them down, and they let go of the things that are serving their life. So they let go of the positives, right? And they're stacking the negatives, and the negative stack becomes so high that it just cripples them. I've worked with two people, both the age 75. One was totally energetic, went out to play golf, was socially active, and the other one was isolated, very negative, very pessimistic, not as active. And although these two people were the same age, they were completely different. So the good news is a 75-year-old that was more pessimistic and not as active, he went through the program with me, and he basically, turned his mindset around and became a lot more active. But it just kind of proves to you what negative thoughts can do to you compared to the positive thoughts. So all of you guys want to be elders. Okay, so elders are positive, optimistic. Okay, they never give up. Elders reach crests. They basically they're working on having positive things, focusing on positive things that are serving them, and leave behind the negative things that are bringing them down. Growing into an elder takes work, but it's achievable. So this just takes consistency with the exercise, consistency with the journaling, and I guarantee you it will pay off. But it doesn't come overnight for a lot of people. So elders are not never considered old. They're more wise. They've got basically they've made peace with their age. They've made peace with death. They're on the upward slope, not the downward one. Okay, so we're going to talk about next a growth versus a fixed mindset. So all of you guys want to have a growth mindset, because a growth mindset will take you, to crests rather than valleys. So a growth mindset is ability to improve in any area of your life. So just like those individuals I was showing you before, they have a growth mindset. They don't set limits on themselves. They ask themselves, how can I do it? How can I do better? How can I be happier? How can I live a more fulfilling life? Rather than the fixed mindset, people believe that their traits are fixed at birth. So, they blame it on genetics. And they have no hope of really improving. I know growing up, I had a fixed mindset because, I believe that since, none of my previous family members never started a business, that I would never start a business, and I would just be working, a job the rest of my life. But I proved that wrong to myself. I have a business, Fit Mindset, and it's doing well. So I proved that that was wrong, and that's how I developed a growth mindset, by just not putting any limits on myself. Okay, so how to gain a positive elder mindset. You can do this through journaling, praying, quiet time, imagery. Journaling can ward off negativity and fill your mind with positive thoughts. Journal first thing in the morning before you go to bed, first thing in the morning and before you go to bed. So the reason why you should do it first thing in the morning is because your brain generates things called alpha waves. And these alpha waves leave you relaxed and focused. And if you say you turn on the news, or or something distresses you, you throw yourself out of those alpha waves, and your cortisol raises, and you'll have a more stressful day. So journaling in the morning definitely gives you a time to clarify your thoughts, clarify your objectives during the day, and it certainly will help you live a life of success. So steps to journaling: have to write down a list of the positives of aging, write down a list of the things that you're thankful for, write down your successes. This can be anything that happened at any time. Write down any worries that you have, develop solutions to problems. That's a big one. Focus on the positives. Write down the things that you want to accomplish during the day, during the month, during the year. I love writing down some of the things that I want to accomplish that day. It really helps me get kind of structure on how I on some things that I want to accomplish during the day. And make a bucket list. How many of you guys have a bucket list? If you don't have a bucket list, make a list of some things that you want to do. And this will really just make you excited about life. Limit environmental negativity. So limit watching the news, limit being around negative people, limit politics with friends. And the most important thing on this is to be able to learn how to disagree and appreciate someone's point of view. That's really important. Okay, these are a couple of my patients here. There's Christine in the front and Steve in the back. So Christine, she broke her ankle and her tailbone, and she had limited stability. And once she started the program, the exercise program, she got more stability. She's feeling good. I actually just saw her yesterday. Not yesterday, actually last week, last Friday. And she told me, tell people today that, there's no limits. She thought that, she was just getting old, that her life was done, but now she's active, she's stable, she's taking walks with her dog, Nikki, in the morning. She's doing what she enjoys to do. And Steve in the back, he went into cardiac arrest for 2 minutes. He lost all feeling in his arms and in his legs. He couldn't walk. He couldn't even move. But through physical therapy, through weeks and weeks and months of physical therapy, he can now walk. He has great posture. He doesn't use a walker or a cane. So it's just a miraculous story.
Hey, Wesley, this is the point I think that you wanted me to see if there's any questions currently, and I would ask you.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking right now and I don't see any question answer in the chat or the question and answer area. So you are good to continue going on.
Perfect. All right. So how do you keep your independence physically? So now we're going to talk about some exercise. So we're going to talk about staying aware of your posture. So having a good posture can promote proper alignment. It can take stress off your joints, off your muscles, off your spine. It can alleviate pain, reducing the risks of fall. Bad posture can promote a lack of circulation. The reduction in blood flow causes the heart to work harder. Good posture does the opposite. So you want to be able to maintain a very good posture for your circulation. Having good circulation can lessen your chance of a heart attack or a stroke. Good posture results in better oxygen flow, so it makes you think better. It gives more oxygen to your brain, to your neurons. Okay, so this is a picture of the human body. So you have certain muscles that really get tight. So you see in the front, the quadriceps have a big tendency to get tight and overactive, and the hip flexors. Some of the things that get underactive is you can see in the picture of the back view, the posterior view, that the glutes, the hips get underactive. Along with the lower trapezius, the lower back, all of these muscles get loose and underactive. And the reason why the quadriceps and like the muscles like the vastus lateralis and the calves get tight is because we sit a lot of the day. And if our posture is more hunched over, it's going to make those quadriceps tighter. So this is a picture of a dysfunction, a posture dysfunction. So you can see the pelvis, it's an anterior pelvic tilt, and the upper body, the spine, has an excessive curve. It's a kyphotic curve, they call it. So this is kind of like the sway back with the shoulders forward. So this can put a lot of stress on the spine. It can put a lot of stress on your nervous system too, because the nerves derive out of the spine. So we want to correct that postural issue. Okay, so benefits of exercise. I think a lot of you guys know the benefits of exercise. It wards off chronic disease. It helps avoid musculoskeletal injuries and falls. It releases feel-good neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine. And this helps you with elevating, a good positive mood too during the day. So exercise helps you produce more GDF-11. So the GDF-11 has been shown to be found in skeletal muscle, and also is found to be surrounded around your organs too. And as you age, GDNF-11 becomes less in excess. So you have a depletion of GDF-11. So exercise actually increases that protein. That's actually what it is, a protein, and provides anti-aging effects. Okay, so with exercise, keeping yourself healthy, you really flatten the curve rather than really going down the curve. So you definitely want to be staying up. Okay, so exercise, resistance training, and stability training, which we're going to go over a little bit later, is really important. It's important to do this 2 to 3 times per week, 30 to 45 minutes. It's important to stretch and loosen up. That way you can stay mobile during the day. And it's important to walk too. Walking with a good posture is really good for you. Make sure that you don't sit longer than an hour. The thing that happens when you sit longer than an hour is your blood flow, basically your blood flow stops. You don't have your blood circulating very well. So it's important to stay active every hour. So stability training, you want to work on your proprioception. So your proprioception is your ability to sense the ground in relation to your body. So for example, if you trip over something, it's the ability for your body to react and catch yourself. And you can do that through a couple of exercises that I'm just going to show you in a minute. So do ABCs with your feet. We're going to go over that. Practice on stabilizing on one foot. We're going to go over some good methods for that too. So resistance training regimen, we want to strengthen up the abdominal muscles, hip muscles, the leg muscles, mid-back muscles. We want to work on dorsiflexion, the anterior tibialis for a drop foot. You don't want your the muscle in the front of your shin to be weak, because it's going to cause your foot to drag. So you want to do exercises to keep it up. Use therapy bands and light dumbbells. Okay, so this is the anterior tib I was talking about. So this is your shin right here, and it's the muscle sits on the surface of your shin. It surrounds your tibia there, and a little bit of the fibula. So that's your glute max, okay? So that really supports your hip. It gives you a lot of stability during the day. That's something that you want to strengthen. You've got the lower traps. You've got the hamstrings. So this is basically a picture of posture. So you want to be the posture closest to the left, the one that's up more upright. It puts less stress on your spine. And then right there, you've got the subscapularis in front of here that tends to get overactive and pulls your shoulder forward. Okay, so this is a couple that exercise with me. Bob is doing great. He's pressing the 35-pound weights about 20 times now. Jerry has also made some great improvements with her stability and her activity. She used to have hip pain, now she doesn't anymore. So if you'd like to schedule a complimentary session, you can activate your session by texting me at 512-969-8595, your email and time of day that you're available. So you can do this by this afternoon, either during this session or after. All right, so now we're going to go over some good stretches and some good exercises that you can do. If you have a notepad, make sure you make some notes so you can remember some of these exercises. So I'm just going to stop sharing here. That way you can see me.
Hey, Wesley, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
It's Cindy. So could you plan for about 10 to 15 minutes afterwards for question and answer?
Of course.
Okay, so you'll need to wrap up here in about 10-ish minutes. And we do have a question. It says, is it possible for these slides to be shared after the presentation?
Excuse me?
The question is it possible to share these slides after the presentation?
Yes. So if just text me your name and your email, and I'll be glad to email that over to you.
Would you be okay if you sent them to us and we sent it out to everybody who came?
Yeah, that works also.
Okay, great. We can do that. So we've got a copy of those slides. So what we can do at the end, what we'll do is a follow-up email and we'll include those slides.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good.
Great. That was the only question thus far.
Okay, perfect. All right. Can everyone see me full screen?
We can see just you. We don't see the PowerPoint anymore.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start with a couple of chair exercises that you guys can do, or actually a couple of stretches. So one thing that's important is making sure that you can stretch the hips. You've got the gluteus medius, gluteus maximus. You've got your piriformis in here, and you've got some other deep intrinsic hip flexors. So you want to cross the legs. Okay, flex the foot here. And you should feel that stretch in there. If you have some limited mobility, or maybe you've had a knee replacement and you're uncomfortable with this position, what you can do is just kind of hug your knee close towards your chest here. Okay, so either way, whatever way you feel comfortable with. So we'll switch to the other side. Okay, so you can flex the foot. And you should feel the stretch down here in the glutes. Make sure you're flexing the foot. You should feel a little pull in here, the front of your shin too. Okay, great. So another great stretch is standing up. So you guys can stand up. And you're going to bring your arms behind your back here. And you're going to bring in the belly, get the abdominals engaged here. So you're going to suck in here. All right. Pelvis is straight. Clenching the hands behind your back, pinching the shoulders down and back. Okay. Opening up the chest. Okay. And then we've got a really good opener for the chest and for the neck here. So you can bring your arms straight like this. You're going to bring it all the way behind you, straighten it out, bring it all the way behind you. You're going to look forward. You should feel a stretch in the front of your shoulder and your chest here. Make sure that your shoulder is down when you do this. And what you're going to do is you're going to flex the head to the left and then turn it. Okay, so you get a lot of the stretch and opening up you can feel in the side of your neck here when you do this, just loosening up the neck there. And then you can go to the other side. And you may have a little bit of clicking and cracking going on. That's fine. It's completely normal. Okay, great. Okay, so since I'm here, we're going against the wall, we're going to do a toe lift. Okay, so that's what I was saying about drop foot. You don't want to drag the feet. You want to work the muscle here in the front of the shin, the anterior tib, so you can maintain some good strength so you can pick up your foot when you walk. So you're going to bring the feet up and back down. Hold for about 3 seconds when you come up. Okay, you can do this about 10 times. Okay, and you should feel the front of the shin working there. Another one you can do is a really great one. The hips is such a source for stability. If you have strong hips, you're going to have really good stability. So it's important to work the hips. So I'm going to adjust the camera down a little bit. So you're going to be standing up straight. Your foot will be flexed and it's going to be all the way straight. And you're just going to push back just a little range of motion here. And you want to feel a tightness in the glutes here. This is called the gluteus maximus that you're working. Along with that, you want to make sure that your core is sucked in and tight while you do it. All right, and we're going to go to the other side, do the same thing. And you can do about 10 repetitions of these. If you feel like you can do more, like 20, you're welcome to. Okay, so next we're going to line up the toe with a heel and we're going to bring it to the side. And we're working this gluteus medius here. Okay, another big stabilizer of the hip. Okay, and then we'll do the other side. So remember the toe is forward, lined up with the heel, and we're taking it to the side, and you should feel a good squeeze here on the side of the hip. Okay. So another one we can do is a leg extension. So what happens is a lot of times the lateral leg, the lateral calf gets really tight because we walk with our foot pronated and externally rotated a lot of the time. So we're going to work to correct that. And how we're going to do that is we're going to internally rotate our foot, bring our leg up, and extend, tighten up the quadriceps, and then bend. Extend and bend. Make sure that you have a great posture while you're doing this. You want your posture to be shoulders relaxed, pinched back. All right, and then we'll do the other leg. Head in line with the shoulders, no hanging the head. Okay, perfect, perfect. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to work on our posture. So we discussed posture. One good thing to assess your posture during the day to make sure you're standing up straight is getting against a wall. So one of the cues of posture is having the feet straight. That's what you want to start off with. You want to have your glutes, your butt here touching up against the wall. You want to have your butt, your mid back against the wall. And you want to bring your head back close against the wall too, with your shoulders relaxed. Make sure you're not bending, bending your back this way. Make sure everything is straight up and down. And it would be a good idea to get a mirror too. If you have a mirror to look at yourself to make sure you're standing up straight. So from here, what you can do is bring your arms up, bring them against the wall, and then step out and keep your arms in the same place. You can do 10 circles going counterclockwise, 10 circles going clockwise. And that's a good one to kind of prep yourself for a good posture during the day. So let's see how we are on time. We're just going to go through one more. Last one is for abdominals, okay? So to burn some belly fat, also having a strong core is essential for supporting the lower back along with the hips. So what we'll do is a simple exercise sitting down. So you're going to maintain a good posture, and you're going to have your hands just close to your head here, all the way expanded. And you're going to bring up your right leg and take your left elbow to your right knee. And what you want to do when you make this motion is squeeze, okay? And you're going to squeeze, and then you're going to squeeze, and make sure on this that there's no hanging the head. You want to keep the head in line with the shoulders. Bring the leg up, squeeze, 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 and you should feel it kind of in the hip flexors. Feel it all here in the abdominals too. Just like this. All right. Well, hope you guys liked the exercises and learned how to do them correctly. Let me know if you have any questions on the exercises. I'd be happy to demonstrate them to you. I can also send you some videos too of some of these exercises that I put together. But yeah, just let me know. So I'm ready for you, Cindy.
Yes, we've got a couple questions here. So one said, could you repeat what you said about your one-on-one session offer?
Okay, so the one-on-one session, it's basically what you get is a consultation. So how it works is we go through your medical history. So for example, if you've had a fall before, if you have any previous health issues that we need to go about, that's what we discuss first. That way I can tailor a program that's right for you. After that, the session that we go through is basically would be exercises like this. Also some stretching. I also do massage therapy too, to loosen up some of your overactive muscles. Like for example, I was saying that like the side of the leg here becomes tight and overactive just from the way that we walk. So I would loosen some of those overactive muscles and also work on improving your posture. So basically just general health Also, if you're interested too in the journaling and getting started with that and being accountable with that, I also will help you develop kind of the ways of journaling and kind of consolidate that too during the session. So basically what I do is I tailor it towards your needs or whatever works for you.
Great. So we've got another question, kind of a comment and a question. So it said, my mom died short of 100 by 5 months. She told me that she didn't have Alzheimer's or dementia, that she just had a crowded mind. Is there truth to that because of the amount of info our minds are flooded with today, like a computer scanning for data when we can't remember a word?
That's totally true. That's a very, very good point. What's happened now is we're so overloaded with technology. We're so overloaded with our Facebook feed. We're relying on technology to remember everything for us. So, we log things on our calendar. We write reminders down in our phone. We've got Google Maps. I know Google Maps is a big one for me because I use it all the time, and it stops my brain from working, directionally. So yeah, that actually is totally true. Is we're overloaded with the information, but the thing is, what I feel like is we're not really retaining anything. Yeah, that's a really good point.
So there's another question. It says, did he show us the ABCs with our feet?
Oh, okay, that's a good one. I didn't have time to do that. I'll demonstrate that really quick.
Yeah.
For you. So this is a really good one. You can do it like, when you're watching TV or when you're just sitting resting. You can also do it standing up on one leg if you'd like. So ABCs, basically you have your leg extended, and you want to make sure that you're just moving the foot, because we want to work all of your intrinsic stabilizers in your lower leg. So you're going to shape an A, okay, and a B, and a C, and penmanship doesn't matter on this, and a D, and an E, and an F. So you're shaping all the letters of the alphabet, and you want to make the letters really big, because the bigger you make the letters, the more range of motion, the more your foot has to move. Any other questions?
It doesn't look like we have any other questions. So if we don't have any other, I just want to thank you, Wesley, again so much for a great presentation, for all the wonderful information. Everyone, just so you know, we will be sending a email tomorrow, follow-up email with a feedback survey, and then also there'll be a link to Wesley's presentation so that you can access it. There'll also be a link to our YouTube page so you can rewatch this if you want to go through the exercises again. And then it will also have Wesley's contact information in that email as well. So lots of great information. And again, Wesley, thank you so much. And everyone, be looking for your email. We'll be in touch with stuff for 2022. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.